How can they be a bear? Huh?
In the pre-dawn hours of August 24th, 1992, Hurricane Andrew slammed into the South Florida coast, packing winds in excess of 175 miles per hour. In its devastating wake, Andrew, a 4 on the hurricane category scale that tops out at 5, left 23 people dead, 250,000 homeless, and an estimated $30 billion in damages. Incredibly, the destruction could easily have reached even more horrifying proportions had the catastrophic storm made landfall anywhere but southern Dade County. Shaky survivors emerged the next morning from rubble that was once dream homes to survey a landscape that could have come straight out of a science fiction movie or a nuclear blast. Hardest hit of all were the lush barrier islands and bonefish flats located along the eastern edge of Biscayne Bay that were not only lashed by the savage winds, but pounded unmercifully by an angry sea before the deadly storm came ashore.
Hello everybody, I'm Andy Mill. Thanks to Mother Nature's most amazing restorative powers, this is what Ground Zero looks like 5 years later. I'm on Boca Chica Key in Biscayne National Park, which has been closed up until about 3 weeks ago. Over my shoulder you can still see some of the destruction from the storm. The vegetation is not lush, but yes, some of the small trees are starting to grow back, and the water runs all but gin clear. But most importantly to fishermen, the legendary big bones of Biscayne Bay are still roaming the flats that lie in the shadows of Miami's high-rise skyline.
While much of the city still sleeps, Captain Bob Branham begins the daily 35-mile commute from his suburban Fort Lauderdale home to an office that boasts the most spectacular view in town. On a good morning, the drive down crowded I-95 takes about an hour. On a bad day, twice that long. But for 18 years, this South Florida native has drawn wistful states of jealousy from fellow commuters, who thinks he's either on vacation or playing hooky from work as he trailers his skiff through downtown traffic. Few realize that Branham is one of only a handful of guides whose office lies in the shadows of the gleaming glass towers that rim the shoreline of this unique light tackle fishery and the bodacious urban bonefish that call it home. Each trip begins the same way, with a quick stop at Jimbo's, a picturesque Key Biscayne landmark, where Bob loads his live wells with 10 dozen shrimp before meeting his charters at nearby Crandon Park Marina.
You have a good day now. Thanks, Jim. I hope they're fighting. The weather holds for it. I'll see you tomorrow.
It must be nice to get here.
Well, yeah, it is. You know, finally, after you drive. And you know, a lot of times the drive isn't so bad, but I'm always tense on the road. You have to, because it's a long drive, I have to just sort of zone out. So I don't even really think about it. I just
Do it.
Just drive. I don't look around. You know, some people are flipping me off, and some people are waving, "Hey, go get them."
Go get them.
And some people are like drooling. Oh man.
Wish I could be going.
And I see a lot of the same people, you know, every day, like the same tall people.
Yeah.
And they go, "Can I come with you?" But if you think about the traffic, if you're in a hurry, it'll kill you.
Drives you nuts.
It'll just kill you. So I gotta just sort of you know, go when I can go,
And go through the motions.
And just take it easy. And then when I get here, it always takes me about halfway to the point there before I just, and then it's like.
And then you realize you're out here and you get the gas, you go, no, I'm gonna be in a hurry because I want to get there.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good day.
It's sweet.
Few little puffy clouds.
Do you want to go down to that other flat down there?
I was thinking that maybe right around the corner here. Actually, there's a flat right out there that's probably low enough, right out in the middle.
You want to go take a look at that?
Yeah, that'll be good. Isn't it neat, Andy, that you can come down here and catch bonefish and permit and tarpon too in the shadow of those big buildings?
You know, it goes to show you, I think, how resilient the fish are to not only people but pollution.
Yep. I think the bay's, pretty healthy.
Pretty clean now.
From here north is not as clean as from here south because the population is mostly north. But Biscayne Bay is a unique area because of the flushing action of the tide. Cleans all that bad stuff out. And then we have a hurricane once in a while, and that helps, especially like Andrew when it came by.
It's amazing what devastation can do. It's almost like a forest fire.
Just like exactly like a forest fire. And the new growth that comes back is healthier, and you know what, Andy? I just saw a tarpon roll past that boat.
You did?
A big one.
You did?
Yeah.
I got the wrong rod in my hand. Tarpon?
It was a big one.
Watch my knees. You can tell what I'm fishing for.
You know what, though? He's a little out of range. Or maybe not for you.
We need a bigger gun.
Although best known for its big bones, which average a whopping 7 to 8 pounds, Biscayne Bay also boasts excellent seasonal tarpon fishing during their biannual migrations along the coast, and a superb permit fishery, with most of these brawling speedsters averaging around 25 pounds, although it's not uncommon to see permit on these flats weighing 40 pounds or more.
All right, Andy, we're gonna slide up here on the corner of this, where this channel comes together, and look for some permit. They usually stack up right along the edge, right on the edge of the hard current, and they're looking for crabs and shrimp and stuff that get blown through with the tide. You can see how the tide is just ripping through there. And early in the season like this, this particular spot, they like flies better than they do crabs. So let's put this little fly on it. It sort of doesn't look like anything in particular, but it looks a little bit like a shrimp or a crab.
And what kind of a retrieve do you like?
I like a fairly quick retrieve, a good sharp strip, wait just a second, and a couple of more sharp strips, not real long, but quick, and then a little pause in between the strips.
Because I think your typical permit fishing is done with a crab pattern, where a lot of people will drop in front of the fish, they tweak it, and then they let it drop, and the fish goes down to eat it. So this is a little bit different.
This is quite a bit different, but...
Is this one of your fortes?
Yeah, well, I like to think so. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You know how that goes.
Well, I know that you catch probably about as many permit in a year as anyone else, so let's give it a shot.
Okay.
After staking out his skiff along a channel edge abutting a flat, where we saw some permit in the current, Bob began chumming with the live shrimp as I started casting across the drop-off and letting the epoxy-headed fly slowly drift down current, with the crabs and shrimp being carried by the swift tide.
God, oh, I got one. Come on. Oh, I got him. I got him.
Woo!
Finally.
Are you?
Oh, sweetness.
The little guy.
Little guy, that's all right.
Hey, a permit on fly is...
Bob, I caught my first permit on fly with you.
I remember that.
Remember? I mean, it's been a while.
It wasn't far from here.
There he is.
I'm gonna scoop him, Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, ironically, that place that we fished, it was before the hurricane.
No, it's no longer.
It's there. I mean, they don't even sometimes come there now.
Oh, really? Just never there, huh? Is this a new spot since the hurricane?
Well, yeah, before the hurricane, they were on the other side of this island. That, my friend, is a permit on fly.
Sweet.
He's a little guy, but
hey.
There's some bigger ones down there, that is for sure.
Oh, but look how pretty he is.
Now that's a pretty picture.
That is gorgeous.
Permit fly on permit.
A unique situation,
Yeah.
huh? Oh, I love your fly, Bob.
Hey, I love your casting.
Well, I think it takes two to get a fish. Look.
Well, this is a team effort, there's no doubt about that.
Come up here and stand next to me. I want to shout at you and I. One of my favorite people in the whole world, Bobby Branham. It's one of my favorite fish.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Oh, that's.
Hey, I don't think you're any more excited than I am. Maybe not quite as.
You know what? He's not a monster, but they're so beautiful and so hard to
It could have
catch.
just as easily been a 20-pounder. There's, you know, we saw him swimming over there.
I cannot imagine what it was like here when the storm came rolling through.
It was a bad place, that's for sure. You see how tall those mangroves were? I had a biologist tell me that it's going to be 50, 60 years before the trees get that size again.
Because it takes that long for
They're
them to grow.
very, very slow-growing tree.
And you were talking about how the smaller ones still have leaves because they were underwater.
Yeah, he said that the ones that survived a lot of times were underwater. And some of them are the big trunks here next to the edge here. They're big old trees. They're not tall because the tops broke off.
Wow.
Blew away in the hurricane. Some of the trees in the interior are not red mangroves. Some of them are gumbo limbo and mahogany and pigeon plum.
And that's why they've come back quicker.
And they came back a lot quicker than the mangroves. You can just imagine being here and watching that wall of water come by. It really is like a never-ending circle. And you have to have these big, you know, sort of cyclical events happen to clean out all that dead stuff.
You know, this is almost like Yellowstone. Remember the big forest fire up there?
Yeah.
And it just depleted the forest, and now it's green, it's lush, and the undergrowth is happening again. The forest sometimes becomes almost like a canopy, protecting and almost insulating the undergrowth of light, and it needs to have a
you got to open it up.
A cleansing.
Open it up and air it out once in a while. This got opened up.
Big time.
You can look back in there, all those little shoots, those are all just brand new trees. You know, not more than 2 feet high now. I mean, that is a solid carpet back in amongst that dead stuff. A solid carpet of baby mangrove trees.
Can't imagine how many bugs are in there on a hot summer day.
Although the jagged scars left behind by Andrew will likely remain well into the 21st century, they also mark a mixed blessing. The winds and waves refreshed old haunts and also created new ones.
Andy, this is one of the flats that really got hammered by the storm. This used to be a completely lush grass flat, and the storm, for whatever reason, scoured that grass right off. And you can see just how it's almost like the Bahamas now.
I was just going to say, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, or is the fishing not as good now because of that?
Well,
the grass.
The fishing still can be very good here, but I usually find them where there's still grass.
And usually when you find them on this white sand, they're probably pretty spooky.
Yeah, they're spooky. And plus it's a little deeper out here than you'd like to fish most of the time.
It's beautiful. I love the color.
It's moving towards us.
Do you
There's,
see the fish?
There's 2 of them, yeah. See that sort of reddish weed? There's another pup. There's 4 or 5 of them there, Andy. There.
I don't see the fish.
You see that
Oh
next,
yeah, I see the fish now
see
down
the next
there.
white spot? Yeah. They're going through that now.
They just puff. Are they still by that puff?
No, I think they're left of that white spot.
Over here?
Yeah, and I lost them. Okay, they're past that long white spot that you're pointing at.
Yeah.
See the mud there? See the mud? They're facing us now.
Yeah, I got it. There he is.
Got it. Good cast.
Woo! Good spot job.
Good cast.
Oh, this gives me goosebumps, you know? Oh, that was a nice little pack of wolves, huh?
That sure was. And just what you said about that wind, these guys are hungry and they're not spooky when it's like this. You know, that fish is still going and he's out there over 100 yards right now. Look at that, he's going and I'm going after him and he's still going. Now here's where that T-bore reel, that big arbor
I
reel.
love this big reel. Look at the bones right there, Bob. See him going across?
Wait a minute, Bonefish. We'll be with you in a few minutes.
We'll be right back.
Take a number.
I don't think it's a very big fish,
Not
really.
as big as that first one?
But I did see some pretty good sized
Oh,
fish
yeah.
in that school.
Yes.
Come on, you bad dog.
That's not a dink, that's a nice one.
Oh, he is bigger than I thought. Oh, it makes me... I didn't mean to hurt his feelings.
I think you did. I missed him that
sweet.
first time. Look at that.
Look how big he is.
Look at that boy. Look
I'm
at
so
that.
sorry, Mr. Fish, to call you little.
Look at that belly.
How heavy is that fish?
He's
8.5?
Yeah,
Eight?
at least.
He's like your average fish, 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Wow, look at that.
And that's not taking anything away from these bonefish. That's
No.
exceptional fish any place in the world. It's just
That they're average here.
That's the size they come here.
Right.
Look at that.
Look at his fin is split right here. You see that?
Yeah, he's a little ragged.
Did you see that?
Looks like he's been fighting with Andy Mill.
in the ropes.
That's pretty.
Don't you love it when it comes together?
Yes.
I mean, they are really special.
They are. They're the best. I love the colors. Even that little iridescent blue back by his tail.
Makes that morning commute through downtown Miami all worth it, doesn't it?
This is what it's all about right here. You know, the only trouble is, there's nothing like this waiting for me when I go home.
Oh, wait a minute. Lori's going to kill you for that.
When surrounded by the tranquility of this subtropical paradise, where man comes to play with nature, it's easy to lose sight of the savage realities of survival in the wild. A point driven home as we watched in awe as a gentle bottlenose dolphin, like the playful star of Flipper, suddenly turned predator and swiftly chased down a meal on a flat too shallow to even cover its back.
Oh man, look at him go. Look at him go now. He's going to catch that bonefish now.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Did you see
Look at
that
the
bust?
power,
Did
huh?
you see that bust? I think he got him right then. Right as he turned, just then, he got him.
There is life in Biscayne Bay.
There it is. Andy, did you ever think when you were going down that mountain 90 miles an hour with nothing but 2 skis under you that you'd be out here fishing for bonefish and permit with a fly rod?
Oh, it's just such a different world. I mean, had I known about it, yeah, because I've been a fisherman my whole life. I started tying flies when I was 10.
Yeah, I
I've
remember you
always
telling me
chased
that.
trout. But to the extent that I'm a freak about this now, no. It's not that I can't live without skiing, because I am a mountain man and it's a big part of my being. It always will be. I'm a mountain man first and foremost. But I promise you, I cannot live without tarpon and bonefish and permit fishing.
I
This is
understand that. I understand, you know, roots. Your roots are in the mountains, my roots are here in the salt water. I think I have salt water in my veins, actually.
I don't know, it's funny because I've always said, I don't care who you are and what you do, please, for your own sake, have a passion.
Yes.
Whatever it is, I don't care what it is.
Yes.
You know, we may like to fly fish out here on the flats. Someone else could be knitting and have a passion for it. I don't care.
That's
Do
right.
it.
I tell my kids that find something that'll make you happy, you know, that'll really touch you in your soul. And, you know, that's sort of the secret to lifelong happiness.
Bob, is there a fish on that ray right there? Yeah, on that
Yes,
left
there
side.
is. There is. Facing to the right.
Oh, I think that's a little short.
He didn't see that one.
Yahoo!
Yes, sir!
Woo! Oh, can they be a bear? Huh? Oh, how sweet was that?
Hey, that was pretty.
That was
That
good.
was nicely done. Very nicely done. There's plenty of critters on this flat right now.
It's pouring pretty good.
You know, one school must have had 20 fish in it.
Oh, I love it when it works.
Oh, man. Oh, you got him in quick. I'm not even ready. I'll stop us right here. Let me get the net.
Okay.
Just so to enjoy him a little bit. Oh, yeah. Nice fish. I'm sure that other one was bigger than that, too. I'm sure.
They always are.
Of course. And even if he wasn't, I would have said the same thing. That first one really came for it hard, too. I can't believe he didn't get it. Oh, yes. Mr. Bonefish.
Wow.
It's a pretty good one. Good 8 pounds.
You guys catch any small fish in Biscayne Bay?
Yeah, not very often. You weren't going to lose that one. It was in him
In
and then
him.
back through and in him again.
In him, at him, and in him. I love this fly.
It's a good
Wow,
solid
nice
8-pound fish.
Stout they are.
One of the most incredible things about the flats of Biscayne Bay is that they receive much less pressure than those farther south in the Florida Keys. Most anglers feel that they have to travel to the ends of the earth to find fishing this good. But as Bob Branham discovered nearly 20 years ago, sometimes paradise can be found in your own backyard. Set against the glittering backdrop of Miami's soaring skyline, Biscayne Bay remains a vital oasis that emerged from the wrath of Hurricane Andrew, stronger and more alive than ever. Like his boyhood best friend, author Carl Hyacin, who grew up so enchanted by this area that he immortalized it in his best-selling novels, Bob Branham has found a way to combine his two loves and, best of all, earn a living at it. While the rest of us can only daydream from our desk about those precious few days we get to spend out on the water, yearning to slip silently across grassy flats in search of the elusive beasts that fire our most primal passions. For the fortunate few working stiffs like Bob Branham, that's just another glorious day at their office.